In this video, we will talk about the 9 most common myths about FP&A role. Hi, my name is Asif Misani, and my mission is to help 1 million finance professionals master FP&A skills. So if you like watching my videos, do subscribe to my channel. This may not cost you anything, but this will help me a lot. So with that, let's get into the today's video. Myth number one is that FP&A role is only about creating budgets. This is so not true. FP&A people are involved in lot more functions other than the budget. They do so many things. You can check out my other video which I created on the 9 key FP&A functions, the link to which I will drop in the description below so that you get a full understanding of what different functions FP&A team perform. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Sarah is a FP&A analyst working with a large software company. Months before the launch of their new product, Sarah helped her operations team create a detailed financial model for the new product. This model was not just a simple financial, but a very detailed, thorough model with different scenarios, including the best case and the worst case projections. Now, as the launch date approached closer, Sarah's financial model highlighted the need for additional marketing investment to ensure a successful launch. She presented her findings to the decision makers. Her presentations included a lot of insights on the potential market reactions, competitor responses, and the consumer trends. Sarah's work didn't just stop there. She engaged in discussions, answered queries, and provided clarifications, all this ensuring that the leadership team understand the different implications of the every decision. Her analysis resulted in giving more marketing funds for the new product, a move that was initially opposite to the company's conservative spending pattern. Eventually, the product launch was a success with sales exceeding 25% of the expectations. In this example, Sarah's forecast and financial model were key to the success of the product launch. They helped dynamically allocate resources to where it was most needed. Next, let's talk about myth number two. The second common myth about FP&A roles is that it is only for finance professionals. It is true that majority of FP&A professionals come from accounting and finance background. It is also equally true that a lot of people come into FP&A without any finance background. I have seen people come into FP&A from fields like economics, business, and even engineering. So finance background is not a strict requirement for you to be working in FP&A. So what is required instead is the ability to understand the business, ability to analyze data and transform that data into key insights, and being able to communicate that effectively for decision making. So if you are able to do all of this, then having a finance background is just an added advantage. In fact, so many of our alumni and guest speakers work in FP&A are coming from different backgrounds. Next, let's talk about the myth number three. Myth number three is that FP&A is a boring and a mundane job. Although I agree that some parts of the FP&A role are routine, but it is also equally true that a lot of the work that FP&A does is very dynamic and challenging. I've met so many people over the years, and especially if you are an FP&A analyst working with the business, there will be no single day that you would find the same. In fact, FP&A is the only department in finance that gets a holistic view of the entire organization and is in a position to be able to make impact and help the company succeed. Next, let's move to myth number four. So next point is that FP&A is all about numbers. Although it is true that a big part of the FP&A role is looking at numbers, however, it is equally true that you also need to understand the meaning and context behind those numbers and be able to clearly and effectively communicate those numbers that helps the senior management in making decisions. Myth number five is that FP&A looks at only present and past data. Although this was true maybe 10 or 15 years back, where FP&A was heavily involved in reporting the present and the past data, this is no longer true. A big part of FP&A role today is budgeting, forecasting, which are all forward-looking functions. So FP&A team does spend a big part of their role in forward-looking activities. Let's move to myth number six. Myth number six is that FP&A is only about cost cutting. Although cost management is an important part of FP&A role, that's not the only thing that they do. In fact, looking at revenues is also a very big part of FP&A roles. So analyzing revenues and identifying growth opportunities is the area where FP&A team spends a lot of their time. Myth number seven is that FP&A is only for large companies. This is not true. FP&A function is critical for all sizes of companies, be it large, medium, or small. In fact, smaller companies may need FP&A even more because of their limited resources. Even in a small company, there is somebody in the finance team who might be looking at the FP&A functions. Initially, it might be the CFO, and as and when the company grows, there will be a separate team coming up. Myth number eight is that FP&A is a standalone function. Although FP&A is a separate function under the CFO in the finance team, it doesn't exist in silos. So a big part of FP&A team's role is to interact with different business teams and help them in decision making. In fact, all good FP&A people that I know are good at business partnering, meaning they are good at building relationships with other departments in the company and are good with communicating insights that are required for their growth and development. And finally, let's talk about myth number nine, which is FP&A is a dead end career. I see this a lot that people feel that FP&A is a dead end career. However, this is so not true. The valuable skills that you learn during your FP&A time, you can transfer it to so many different roles. I have seen FP&A people go on and take different leadership roles both within the finance department and outside in other different departments. In my next video, I'll be breaking down the 13 different potential FP&A exit strategies. So stay tuned for that video. If you are serious about FP&A roles, then do check out the free webinar on accounting to FP&A on the end screen here. If you found today's video useful, then do give it a like and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next video.